Welcome to the Drama Club. This week we talk about what we're watching, Linda Tripp, the Biebers and Kendall Jenner versus the Poors, Rihanna, Ezra Miller, shoutouts, and Steph tells us the story of Rodney King and the LA riots. Stay tuned.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it do. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to NY.
Oh, I should probably charge my fucking iPhone. I guess I don't need it though. Let it get dead.
Let it get that. Are you the president now?
That's embarrassing because I probably do talk like that. I saw something going viral on Twitter that it's just been a shit show the last few days. I mean, it's always a shit show, right? Yeah. But like the last few days especially.
Oh, I tuned in. I'll tune in every once in a while to the little press conferences, even though I know I shouldn't. But yeah, I think it was yesterday when he was like, "The virus, it's brilliant."
Yes, that's the one I was watching.
It's outsmarting the antibiotics, and I was like, "Motherfucker." What are you talking about?
He was like, it's invisible. And I was like, they're all invisible. Like, what are you?
It's the invisible enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's something. Oh, my tia died this morning.
May.
Yeah.
Which tia?
My dad's tia. So my grandma, my great tia. My tia Anita.
Oh, no, May. I'm so sorry. Is she in Guatemala?
No. She's in Florida.
Oh no.
She's like the only person on that side of on my dad's side of the family that A, I look like, and B, is like normal, that I feel like I can relate to,
Yeah. She's the one that looks a lot like you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember seeing pictures of her.
So RIP to Anita, 86 or 87 years old.
Wow.
She lived a full ass life, COVID negative.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
Life is precious.
It show is. What are you drinking?
Gin and tonic.
Ooh, same. G&T.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but remember I told you I got from the 5-cent wine sale at Bevmo, they had the Fever Tree, all the different flavors for 5 cents. So I got this like aromatic pink one. It's bomb.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like the best one.
Is it a glass can or did you get the baby cans?
Glass, like a bottle. Like a little, like almost like a Topo Chico.
Okay,
yeah.
So I bought like the little baby aluminum cans and I was like, this is perfect because it's like perfect for one.
Yeah.
But they're actually like too small. Actually, never mind. I think I'll go regular.
That was my problem with this. I was like, oh, there's 2 in here though. So I just had to put the kind of force the cap back on. And put it back in the fridge. It's going to be flat if I don't make a second cocktail, but I'm going to make a second cocktail.
Fuck yeah, man. That's what's up. It's been a tough couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least.
For real. So today, did you watch the Fleabag thing?
I did. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. Made me cry a little bit at the end.
Yeah. I was just like, I mean, it was fine. It was like the whole first season, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. Mostly I was just like in awe of her.
Yeah. I was going to say I was in awe of the vision it took to turn that into the first season of Fleabag. Because I can almost, I mean, it was good. And I can almost see someone saying, let's make a movie out of this. Maybe.
Right.
But like the fact that they spun that into a whole season of a show and now 2 seasons of a show, I was like, damn, someone has vision. Her, Phoebe, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, it was good.
She makes me feel like a big pile of dog shit.
For real. Yeah.
Like, oh my God. How like brilliant and talented and just fuck.
Yeah. I think she's our age or more or less our age.
She's Howell's age.
Okay.
She's 34.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you looked that shit up? You're like,
yeah, I was like, this bitch is your age.
She's doing shit.
Look at you.
You know who I felt like homegirl from Glow? Not obviously not Alison Brie, but the other one.
Oh yeah, is she our age?
She's our age.
Damn.
Betty Gilpin.
Yeah, that's fucking rude. How dare they? Just making us all feel like shit.
I don't mind people that are the same age as us, but the people that are younger than us, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, stop trying to show off. That's fucking rude.
You're doing the most.
Yeah. Relax. Don't you want to just fuck around for a little bit? Like, damn. What did we say? Oh, Linda Tripp.
Oh.
It's a trip.
I was going to say R.I., but just R.I.
Yeah. Just
Just rest. My girl Monica, though.
Yeah. Wow. Like, what a person, right?
Yeah.
Monica Lewinsky found out that Linda Tripp, obviously, for people who don't remember, she was the whistleblower in the Lewinsky scandal, which is that the name of that scandal? Because that's rude.
That's what Monica says. Monica says we shouldn't be calling it the Lewinsky scandal.
It shouldn't be called that.
Right.
The Clinton scandal.
Yeah, the Clinton scandal.
So when President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, bam, chicka, wow, wow. Linda Tripp is a snitch ass bitch.
Yes.
Who fucking, I think she didn't like befriend Monica to get the tea, but she was friends with Monica and then got the tea and leaked the tea.
She was like co-workers with Monica, and then when she got kind of like a taste of what was going on, she was like, oh, we are about to be friends. So
she like scammed Monica, and she was way older than Monica, so that was fucked up.
I know, super fucked up.
So anyway, so she's the whistleblower in that shit. She was gravely ill and passed away this week. And when Monica Lewinsky, why am I saying this shit? It's my saying this. Sorry, man.
When Monica Lewinsky found out, she went on Twitter and was like, "Oh, just found out that Linda Tripp is gravely ill, and just want to say that I wish her peace. I wish her the best." And I was just like, oh my God, like time and time again, Monica Lewinsky shows herself to be an amazing person in spite of everything that is done to her, especially this specific person who did it to her.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, like think of how different her life would be if Linda Tripp didn't exist.
Yeah.
But that's not where Monica Lewinsky's mind grapes are at.
Oh, for real.
She thinks bigger than that.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing. So R.I. Linda Tripp. I saw her son say, like, obviously Linda Tripp got a bunch of hate after it all went down.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what she said. Like, most people were either like hate her or love her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And her son, even like when he confirmed that she was really sick this week, said something like, I know people are just going to think one thing about her, but she was more than that. She was a great mom and all this stuff, which is true. So that's what
I'm sure she was.
Yeah, I'm sure she was too.
It sucks that we, like sometimes it's warranted, obviously, but we're always going to remember like the best things that people did and the worst things that people did, when most of the time, most of us are just in the middle.
Right, seriously.
You know? So seriously. It's like, you know, she did a really shitty thing, I think.
Yeah.
But
I think so too.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Life is precious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that what Justin Bieber said today?
Oh my God, May.
So Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, and Kendall Jenner were on Instagram Live today, just chit-chatting, just chopping it up. And they decided to talk about the rest of us, aka the pores.
AKA.
And you know, it seemed like they were trying to do something noble.
Say something. Yeah, he was trying to say something. But he did not say that.
He said, let me try to find it.
And it's just so bad, the whole thing. Like he looks dumb. Kendall and what's your face look dumb. And they don't have anything to add.
Right.
And he's struggling.
If you don't got anything to say, shut the fuck up. Oh, before I forget, shout out. Oh, I found it. Shout out to Rihanna, who's just putting her fucking money where her mouth is. Just,
and not even like saying it's it, not announcing even her, it or whatever. Yeah.
It's the mayor. I found out through the mayor of LA, who was like, oh, Rihanna put $4 million to battered women's shelters because obviously they're the ones that are struggling right now, being locked up with their fucking abusers.
She gave millions of dollars to Barbados to help their medical system with the COVID-19 fight. She gave like $1 million to California to make masks and ventilators and shit.
Rihanna for president.
Seriously. We're looking at you, Puff Daddy. Where's your donations?
Okay, here it is.
So great.
Here it is. So Justin said, how blessed are we? A lot of people in this time have a crappy situation. They look at us, and by the way, this whole time Haley and Kendall are in, like, Haley's in the background and Kendall's on her live, just like agreeing, just like
just like nodding quietly. Yeah.
So it says, a lot of people in this time have a crappy situation. They look at us, and obviously we've worked hard for where we're at. We can't feel bad for those things we have, but us taking that time to acknowledge that there are people who are struggling is important. And that was the end of it.
And they were like, yeah. Also, I think he's the only one that's worked hard.
He's the only one who's worked hard. That's the T right there.
Yeah, he comes from like a regular schmegular ass family, but Kendall Jenner, she grew up rich as fuck.
Yeah.
She was like born and bred to be.
Yeah. And I think we should acknowledge that.
Yeah. Oh, look who's calling me.
Oh, Tiffany.
Let me just say what's up real quick. Tiff.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm recording with May right now. You're on the drama club.
Yeah. Have fun.
Bye.
Okay, cool. We got an ow.
Ow. That was way better than what Kendall Jenner and Hailey Bieber had to input with.
No, but for real, that's the worst part. It's like, of all things to say with those people around, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
We worked so hard for this shit. We can't feel bad about it.
Yeah, he was talking to the hearse girl, and he was like, "We worked so hard for this shit, bro." What's her name? The baby one?
Fucking.
She's with the Nerdist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nerdist.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Whatever. She don't matter.
Did we talk about that on the podcast? I think we did.
Yeah. When the scandal came out, his ex-girlfriend wrote the... Did she say it through
Medium?
Twitter or...
No, she wrote like a little essay on Medium.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good article.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then her mom came to like defend his ass and shit.
Right.
That's weird.
Fucked up. Oh, God.
Yeah.
My mom may be a lot of things, but she would
not. Hell no. My mom would be like, nope, break up with me. That's it. Anyways, yes. Those poor rich idiots. Also, I get what he's trying. I feel bad for Justin a little bit because he's trying to say something.
Oh, but you know what? The rest of us don't need acknowledgement right now.
Yeah, that was actually you can feel bad for that.
Yeah.
And it's you should feel so bad that you give money to organizations that need help. People that are suffering right now.
Here's someone who I never thought that I would be praising, but Jack from Twitter, who can't seem to get the Nazis off of Twitter, but out of nowhere just donated a third, literally 29% of his wealth in an instant to help the COVID-19 response. That is, again, putting your motherfucking money where your motherfucking mouth goes.
Right. I did see some sort of criticism of Jack's donation. Oh, I don't remember where.
Is it because it was stock?
To one of his? Yeah, because it went to something like that. That's what I saw.
It's because, I think that sometimes we don't realize that these people, it's not like they don't have that cash on deck.
Right. So like most people should know that, right?
Right. So
anyways,
I think there might have been criticism of him giving the stock.
Yeah, but that's what he had. Yeah. I mean, fuck it. I got a 2011 Toyota Corolla. That's all I got.
You want to give a third of that?
You guys need it? You can have it. It's got to be worth like $1,500.
I got a Peloton that I'm returning in 29 days.
Hell yeah, man. 28 just to be safe.
Yeah, for real. I wanted to give a shout out. Yes. I want to give a shout out to PRD 0724.
Oh yeah, the homie.
Yeah, from Instagram, who hopped into our DMs first of all and said, "May, you would like this," and it's
yeah. Oh, I did see.
And it's a show about like male strippers. It's in Espanol. and it's called Toy Boy.
It's like a suspense show.
Yeah.
Because it surprised me. Because at first when she said it, I was like, oh, this is up my alley. And then I turned it on and I was like, oh, I gotta think. Hold up. I thought it was gonna be like Magic Mike straight up.
Because the little screen grab that you see is like is strippers stripping.
Right.
And but there's like a murder mystery and there's someone who's gotta like prove their innocence and shit. That shit slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's like it's on the same level of basically like any other Spanish drama I've seen from Spain.
Right. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It just wasn't what I expected.
Yeah,
so I was like kind of disappointed.
But the man in it is probably the finest man I've ever seen in my whole last life. Like,
yeah, he's very, very good looking.
I keep staring at him. So like I started watching it. I was watching the episode with the sound off, and then I was like, "Oh, hold up, let me start over," because then shit started happening.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I waited for Joel to not be here. Like, I was like, I can't watch this around here. But then I totally could have.
And then my favorite part is like that. I thought, okay, so they got the stripping part out of the way because he's a stripper / like a gigolo. But then like at the end of the first episode, then they reveal that he has to go back to stripping. And I was like, ooh. Oh, yes. And there's another shout out that I wanted to give to Marlene.
The girl who left us a review?
Yes. Or do you think it's Marlene?
I think it's Marlene.
Okay.
I just like it because it says Lenny.
Marlene, thank you for the review because you drowned out the very negative. The very negative review. But also, I think that iTunes removed that very negative review. Because remember, we had 2 of them talking about the same thing back to back. They took one off.
So they must have been the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is bullshit. All the ice cream trucks passing by right here. That song's fucking slaps. Is that
Fabulous?
Yep, I think so. FABO. Yeah, thank you, Marlene. That was so tight.
Oh, and then I have like one more little piece of drama I wanted to talk to you about. Ezra Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so something crazy happened this week.
How old is this kid?
Maybe more or less our age.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I thought he was like a baby.
No. Well, he had like...
he's 27.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so a little bit younger than us. So he was videotaped earlier this week choking out one of his fans.
What?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna send you the video right now.
What, May?
Yeah, it is. It was like a girl went up to him, kind of saying, like, "Will you play fight with me?" Like at a bar situation. I'll let you see it. Hold on.
What?
Yeah, it is.
Also, this guy has fans. The fuck?
I think he's in a Marvel thing.
Oh, you know who's cute? Is that kid Tom Holland?
Is that the one who kind of looks like Tom Hardy? Or no, that's Spider-Man?
No, yeah, it's Spider-Man. Oh. He's not like anything my type. I just think he's like a cute kid, and every time I see him, he's like being really happy, and I'm just like, oh.
Okay, I DM'd it to you.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro.
Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro.
What the fuck?
So the guy who was taking the video said that that's his sister in the video, and that she was kind of like playfully in front of him, just saying like, "Oh, fight me," or something. He was like, "You want to fight? You want to fucking fight?" Grabbed her by the neck and threw her down.
May, what the fuck?
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, fuck that kid. We don't need your ass.
And you can see her just kind of like, not even, and when I say like playfully like fighting, it didn't look like a threat in the slightest. She looks more like she's breakdancing, honestly. Like, yeah. It's like exactly what if I went up to Steph and I was like, "You want to fight me or something?" Like it would just be like dancing. So he grabs her, chokes her out, throws her to the ground, and then the guy taking the video is like, bro, stop. And
yeah, like he.
Well, so the guy says that Ezra was fucked up, drunk as fuck, and that
drunk or on drugs, maybe.
Because he says that was a bar, and I think that the guy taking the video works at the bar, and he says that he had been serving him, and he was getting fucked up, and that like then it took like 3 guys to physically toss his ass out after this, like pick him up like by the chonies and like toss him because he would not leave. Damn. But it looks bad. I would encourage you guys to look up the video because it looks bad.
It looks really bad. It looks like he's literally like gonna kill her, like he's choking her and throwing her to the floor.
And that news came and went just because like everything else.
I didn't even know about it.
It started trending because I think that's somewhere in Canada, maybe. Because there's snow around.
Oh.
Anyway, it came and went in the middle of the night. But like it was posted in the middle of the night, and by the morning, I didn't see anybody talking about it anymore.
Is he the Flash or? Yeah, it looks like he's the Flash.
He's the Flash.
Okay, well, I just did a quick Google search, and it's saying looks like the Flash get canceled over choking incident.
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
that's huge.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, there's a petition launched to remove him. Also. What the fuck? It's weird as fuck, dude.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. If that's how you act playfully, then I'd be scared to be around you when you're actually mad.
No, he was mad. Mm-hmm. It's like he took it the complete wrong way or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. So, R.I.P. to him.
R.I.P. Ezra Miller. Sorry to this man.
I don't know. Are those actually, now that I'm thinking about it, also might not be his pronouns. He might be a they. R.I.P. to them.
Who? Ezra?
Ezra.
Oh.
Yeah. Giving non-binary people a bad name now, too.
Oh, yeah. They, them.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this to us, dude. Come
on. What's the Perks of Being a Wallflower about?
You never read that book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower? Oh, I don't know how it would be now, but I read it when I was in high school, probably like 15, and it was great. And then I never watched the movie, but I knew that they had made a movie of it, and he was the main person. Oh, that book is so... Actually, maybe you should read it, May, because it's going to be like a short, like 2-hour read, maybe. And
the cast looks good.
Yeah.
Emma Watson, Mae Whitman.
Oh, wow. Actually, it looks like it did all right for a book to movie.
Kate Walsh, Dylan McDermott, Paul Rudd, Joan Cusack. You know I fuck with Joan Cusack.
Oh, Joan Cusack is a fucking treasure.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Shameless in the beginning, too, because her character is so fucking good.
She was on Shameless?
Yeah, she's like the first... I mean, I think she's still even on it, but she was like a main character the first few seasons. Yeah, the book came out in 1999. It's just a young adult book. It's really cute. I don't want to say any more about it.
Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging?
Man, I read Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging like 6 months ago, bitch. I will pick those up and randomly read that shit because I love those books.
Yeah, I remember when... I don't know if I read them like right when they came out, but I was young for sure.
Yeah, like middle school, I think.
Yeah, because my mom got it for me because she was like, "Oh, I heard this was like Bridget Jones, but for kids." And I was like, "Oh, yes."
They're still good, man. And then the second one is like, I'm the goddess of a sex god or some shit. I don't even fucking know. That shit is so fucking good. And her best friend Jazz is such a drag.
They made a movie out of those too,
right?
Yeah,
I heard it was awful, so I never saw it also. Yeah. I don't like when they ruin it.
Because I think they're also like low rent movies. They're like TV movies.
Yeah, that's whack. And then like her cat is such a cool character. How are you going to translate that into the movie? Right. I don't know. Yeah, those books are so fucking good. I think I read like 5 of them because they went on and on and on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew there were like multiple. I think I read the first one and then maybe the second one, but...
No, I swear, like when I was in law school, I randomly, because I had read them in middle school and then I read them again when I was in high school. And then when I was in law school, I like randomly remembered it and I bought them all and I fucking read them all. And then the other day, like I swear, like maybe like 6 months ago, I saw one and I was like, oh, I'm going to read this shit real quick. They're so funny.
Somewhere out there, somebody's still getting snogged. Not me. Not me.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I remember snogging. That was a lot.
I feel bad for single people and people with kids at this time. Y'all got it real rough out there.
I actually,
May.
Utter anarchy in the streets of Los Angeles tonight. It's just getting worse and worse by the hour.
And of course, dusk is approaching. That curfew will be in effect very, very, very soon. Anarchy in the streets.
All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Stephanie.
And my name is May, and this is the Drama Club.
This is the podcast about celebrities, scandals, drama, biographies.
The brilliant invisible viruses.
I had to cough, and I was like, is this going to happen or what?
Yeah, welcome.
I'm up this week.
What you got?
I'm going to talk about Rodney King and the LA riots.
Oh! Oh, shit. Was this on our list?
No,
okay.
No, it wasn't.
Fun fact, my mom knew Rodney King.
Shit. So I was going to do this I thought a twofer. I was like, I could do Rodney King as a twofer. And then, fuck no. It is long.
Okay.
Because you can't not go into the LA riots.
Right.
And so it gets super long. Mm-hmm. I don't really know if our international friends know about Rodney King and his story, but he's a super important figure in California and in the U.S., I think. For this, I watched this documentary called LA Burning, the riots 25 years later, which is really great, actually.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. John Singleton is interviewed throughout like all of it, and it's worth it just to see him talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And they use like all the highlight footage that you see if you like go on YouTube and look this shit up. All right. So Rodney King was born in Sacramento, California in 1965. He had 4.
He doesn't even go here?
What?
He's not even from here.
He's not even. It's like Tupac. Like it's like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had 4 siblings. His dad was a violent alcoholic and died when Rodney was 19 years old at the age of 42. Rodney had his first child, a daughter, while he was still a teenager.
Wow.
So pretty rough childhood. On November 3rd, 1989, Rodney robbed a liquor store in Monterey Park. He threatened the store owner with an iron bar and hit him with a wooden pole.
What? What are these weapons?
He stole $200 cash from the register and then was later caught, convicted, and sentenced to 2 years in prison.
All right, well.
He was released in 1990 after having served 1 year. After being released from jail, Rodney married another woman and he had his second daughter. Fun fact, his second wife, Donetta, is cousin to rapper Mac 10.
What?
That's so random, right?
What the fuck?
I know, I just wanted to throw that in there. Shout out to Mac 10.
No, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
remember how he did T-Boz?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Later, they got divorced, and then he married another time and had a third daughter soon after, and that marriage also ended in divorce. So, pretty tumultuous life for our boy Rodney King up until now. Yeah. On March 2nd, 1991, Rodney and his friends hung out at their homie's house watching basketball, drinking and shit. They leave in the super early morning hours of March 3rd, 1991. It was Rodney, his friends, Bryant Allen, and Freddie Helps. They jumped in a 1987 Hyundai and they were driving on the 210 freeway in the San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles. Shout out to the Valley.
Yep.
Shout out to the 210 freeway also. That's my jam. At 12:30 a.m., Officer Tim and Melanie Singer, who were a husband and wife members of the California Highway Patrol.
What?
Isn't that crazy? Like, should they be linked up like that? That's what I thought too. This whole time, I was like, this seems wrong. So, anyways, husband and wife members of the California Highway Patrol noticed that this car was speeding. So they started a pursuit with lights and sirens on, and ended up reaching 117 miles per hour while Rodney sped away, refusing to pull over.
Damn, that Hyundai could go 117 miles per hour in 1987? An 87 Hyundai?
Yeah, 1987 Hyundai. The year is 1991. The man is Rodney King. The freeway is the 210. The 210. The area is the San Fernando Valley.
But seriously, that shit could go that fast? Okay.
I mean, barely, right, May? Like,
floor it.
Yeah, seriously. Rodney later said he was trying to outrun the police because a DUI, because he's obviously drunk while he's driving at this time. He had been drinking with his homies. Well, he had been drinking with his homies and left at midnight, you know?
Yeah. What were they drinking? OEs?
Yeah, for sure. Something good. And then, so he didn't want to get a DUI because a DUI would violate the parole he was on for the prior robbery conviction from a year prior. And remember, he had just gotten out of jail a year before.
Right.
Rodney finally exited the freeway and the pursuit continued on residential streets. The pursuit at this point was ranging between 55 to 80 miles per hour, and Rodney ran one red light during the entire pursuit. Mm-hmm. At this point, Tim and Melanie called backup, and Rodney is now being followed by several police cars, and a police helicopter is keeping a fucking eye out. So this is full blown fucking police chase. This shit's on ABC 7. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is like what I live for. I love police car chases.
You know, I always think about, don't you think they used to be more prevalent when we were younger?
Oh, yeah. But I think everybody knows now, like, you ain't getting away.
Yeah. Or what you gotta do, you gotta drive towards the airport so then the helicopter can't follow your ass.
Yeah. Remember that one when we were in college when they were throwing money out the car?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones in a long time.
Bring that back.
That's the best, dude. Just make fake ones. Like, somebody make a show about that shit.
And then I think that could bring us together in this difficult time. Everybody in front of their TVs watching a high-speed chase.
Hell yeah.
Or even a slow-speed chase, to be honest, because we were all watching OJ.
Yeah, that show was exciting. After 8 miles of the chase on residential streets, police officers finally cornered Rodney's car. The first 5 LAPD officers to arrive were Stacy Kuhn, Lawrence Powell, Timothy Wind, Theodore Briseno, and Rolando Solano.
Every single one of those, racist names.
Yeah. Those are the LAPD officers. We also have Tim and Melanie, who are California Highway Patrol.
Oh, okay.
So Officer Tim ordered Rodney and his 2 passengers out of the vehicle and to lie down on the ground. Alan exited the vehicle and lay on the ground, and he was manhandled, kicked, stomped, taunted, and threatened by all officers. Mm-hmm. Helms got out and was hit on the head while lying on the ground and was later treated for a laceration on the top of his head. Oh. His bloody baseball cap was later turned over to the police as evidence. So Rodney, at first, he stayed in the car. When he finally got out, he was reportedly gagged, patted to the ground, and he looked up and waved to the police helicopter above.
Yeah.
Then he grabbed his butt, which Officer Melanie said she took to mean that he was reaching for a weapon. He was later found to be completely unarmed, just FYI. Mm-hmm. Melanie drew her pistol, pointed it at Rodney, and ordered him to lie on the ground. Officer Tim approached with his gun drawn, preparing to arrest Rodney. At this point, Officer Kuhn of the LAPD told Tim and Melanie that LAPD was now taking command and ordered all officers to holster their weapons.
Okay.
LAPD officers are taught to approach a suspect without their gun drawn because there's a risk that the suspect could gain control of it, obviously.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So Officer Kuhn ordered the 4 other LAPD officers to subdue and handcuff King using a technique called swarm, which I had never heard of the name of this, but it totally, like, you know this in your head. It's basically a bunch of officers grabbing a suspect with empty hands in order to quickly overcome the resistance. If you've ever watched Cops, you've seen them do that shit.
It's like, it looks like a football, like piling on the football player.
And everybody's just going for all the limbs and shit. Mm-hmm. Rodney resisted, and he literally stood up while they were trying to get him on the ground. Mm-hmm. At this point, the 4 officers believed that Rodney may be under the influence of PCP as his strength was like incredibly impressive. Mm-hmm. Please note that Rodney tested negative for PCP following this arrest.
Huh.
Rodney was then tasered twice by Officer Kuhn. At this point, a bystander named George Holliday began videotaping what was going on. George lived in an apartment near the intersection of Foothill and Osborne, where all of this was going down. He heard the commotion, grabbed his camcorder, and started filming from his window.
This is incredible.
This is so incredible.
How many people have a camcorder back then, first of all?
It's one of those giant ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who in their right minds would think to go grab it?
And yeah, because it's not like now where like we record stuff because it's so easy to like post and have an audience to view it, right?
Yeah.
Like back then when you recorded something, it's like for your family or a very limited amount of people.
Right.
So you don't think to record shit like this. It's not easy, and it just, for what?
Yeah. Ooh. Part of history.
Yeah, seriously. Holliday's video starts with Rodney on the ground. He gets up, Rodney gets up and rushes towards Officer Powell, which later was argued in court to mean that he was going to attack or flee. And Rodney and Officer Powell collide with one another. Rodney gets tasered at this point for a third time. Officer Powell then hits Rodney with his baton, and Rodney's knocked to the ground. Officer Powell strikes Rodney just a shit ton of times with his baton while Rodney's on the ground, knocked out.
Yeah.
Officer Briseno then moves in, trying to hold back Officer Powell from striking again, because obviously this is just like a fucking full-blown attack.
Right.
And Powell finally stands back. Officer Kuhn then reportedly says that's enough, at which point Rodney wakes up and gets up to his knees, and then Officer Powell comes back and hits him again with his batons.
Oh, God.
Officer Kuhn then acknowledges that at this point he ordered the use of batons once Rodney had stood up again, directing everybody to hit Rodney with power strokes. Powell and Officer Wind used bursts of power strokes and then backed up when he fell on the floor. And then the officers just proceed by beating the shit out of Rodney.
Yeah.
That he's on the ground. They're hitting his joints. Officer Kuhn tells them to hit his joints. So they're just fucking kicking his wrists, his elbows, his knees, his ankles. And at this point, Officers Wind, Briseno, and Powell strike him just fucking nonstop. And it adds up to a total of 33 blows to his body and 7 kicks.
Oh, and are the kicks part of procedure?
Like, no, is that? Man, this cannot be. This is fucking horrible.
The married couple, they're not taking part.
No, because the LAPD took over.
Yeah, but they're there. But they're watching.
I think they're there, yeah. Okay. I don't see why they would have left.
Yeah.
Now, after they beat the shit out of him, the officers swarm him, and he's finally placed in handcuffs and cord cuffs, restraining his arms and his legs. He's dragged on his stomach to the side of the road while they wait for an ambulance. Mm-hmm. Rodney was then rushed to Pacifica Hospital, and he had suffered a fractured facial bone, broken right ankle, multiple bruises and lacerations throughout his body.
Shit.
Blood and urine samples showed that he was intoxicated, and he also had tested positive for marijuana. Mm-hmm. But as we know, that stays in your system forever, so.
Yeah. And if you ever smoked weed, that doesn't give, what are you going to do?
Fall asleep?
Yeah.
The Pacifica Hospital nurses reported that the LAPD officers who brought Rodney in were openly bragging and joking about the number of times that they had hit him.
Oh, Jesus.
Officers obtained Rodney's identification from his clothes. But let's not forget that our friendly neighborhood George had recorded the entire end of the beating, which is basically the most horrific part.
Yeah.
George first contacted the LAPD 2 days later to let them know that he had taped the incident. He then went to KTLA with his footage, and they immediately agreed to show it. The video footage was played on that night's news and became an instant media sensation, like the basically old school viral video.
It's iconic. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word for it.
But it's infamous.
It's infamous, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like, I mean, the Zapruder, the Kennedy assassination film of the 90s. You know?
Yeah. It was huge. It was aired everywhere, over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. Cop watch organizations were then started throughout the U.S. to try to safeguard against police brutality. And in the documentary I watched, like, a lot of the Black people that they are interviewing say, like, we all knew this was happening. And this is the first time that like white America and like other America finally like got to see and like they couldn't believe it. Like we all already knew about it, but it was like so huge because everybody else couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The LA County District Attorney filed charges against 4 officers with assault and use of excessive force. The jury was composed of 9 white people, 1 biracial male, 1 Latino, and 1 Asian American. There were no black members of the jury.
And where was it?
Yeah, so the attorneys filed a petition to change venue because they said that they were going to be completely prejudiced against if it was held in LA County.
Yeah.
Because that's where, like, you know, everybody was up in arms and like the news stations were playing it like basically nonstop. So it went to the Valley.
To Simi Valley, I think.
Yeah. Right? And it's like, I think like LA County population is like whatever. At this point, let's say like 40% black. This is just a number I'm throwing out. And Simi Valley was like 4%, you know?
Yeah. And another thing, it's like they have a weird percentage of police officers that live
Simi
there.
Valley. Yeah.
It's like a huge, it's like Staten Island in New York. That's where all the cops and the firefighters live. Like, that's just where they fucking live.
Exactly. Because if you're a cop for LA, you can't live in LA County. Well, Simi Valley is close enough for your commute. So they all live in Simi Valley. The jury deliberated for 7 days before ultimately acquitting all 4 officers of assault and acquitted 3 of the 4 officers of using excessive force. The jury could not agree on a verdict for the 4th officer charged with using excessive force. The verdict was ultimately based on the first 3 seconds of George's footage because the news stations initially had cut the first part of the video, which showed when Rodney rose to his feet when he was on the ground.
Yeah.
So the video editing kind of had influenced jury members by noting that the cut footage was essential to their decision to acquit, as it appeared as though Rodney standing up and charging Powell was like a real threat to the officers at that point.
Yeah.
Further, the officer's testimony that they had already tried to restrain him, and that he was showing like this crazy strength led the jury members to decide to acquit. Like they thought that they had done what was necessary at that point. Later, the prosecution argued that the jurors acquitted because they had become desensitized to the video of the beating because the defense played the video over and over and over again in slow motion, basically broke it down until all of its emotional impact was lost.
I see.
Outside the Simi Valley courthouse where the acquittals were delivered, county sheriff's deputies protected Stacy Kuhn from angry protesters on the way to his car. At this point, John Singleton's in the crowd because he said that he was actually filming Poetic Justice with Tupac and Janet in Simi Valley, and they had heard that the decision was going to be read, so they were like, let's go to the courthouse, but only he went. Yeah, so he's outside and he says, quote, like they like cut, like some news station is like, what do you think, John, or whatever, and he says, quote, by having this verdict, what these people have done, they lit fuse to a bomb, like right after everything happened.
Oh, I got chills because it's true.
Yeah. And I mean, you'll see, but yeah.
Right.
President George H.W. Bush said, quote, viewed from outside the trial, it was hard to understand how the verdict could possibly square with the video. The civil rights leaders with whom I met were stunned, and so was I, and so was Barbara, and so were my kids.
You know what? Shout out to George H.W. Bush.
What a statement. Honestly. Yeah. Within hours of the announcement of the verdicts, riots began throughout Los Angeles. The Black community felt ignored by justice again and saw this as the most blatant act of racism. And they were tired of suffering at the hands of the system that are supposed to protect us all.
Is it supposed to? You know, it's supposed to protect some people.
Yeah. It's supposed to protect us all. Does it? No. At first, Rodney's attorney and the attorney for the defense didn't actually think that race was an important factor in this case. But the Hollywood holiday video had stirred up this deep resentment among the African Americans in LA and other major cities where they had already been the victims of this police abuse. It was like, finally, like I said, like there was like, finally there's like some evidence to show the world the reality that we deal with.
Yeah. And okay, so now here it is, everyone, look at it.
Exactly.
And they're like,
nothing.
I don't give a fuck.
That's the worst.
Yeah. Because it's a one thing where you're like, it's like your word against, the
Cops.
man's.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's shitty, but they're gonna get the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But now here it is.
Right. And still.
Yeah.
The week prior to the verdicts, LAPD had set aside $1 million for anticipated overtime following a possible acquittal.
Damn.
So the judge announced that a verdict was reached at 1:00 and that he would read the verdict at 3:00, specifically to give police and emergency responders some time to get ready.
Yeah.
They read the verdict at 3:15, and by 3:45, more than 300 people had surrounded the LA County courthouse to protest.
Wow.
African Americans in Los Angeles who were outraged by the verdicts began rioting in the streets of South Central Los Angeles along with the Latino communities. At 4:15 p.m., a large group of people approached a Payless Liquor and they just decided they weren't going to pay. They hit the store owner's son with a bottle of beer and smashed the glass front door. 2 officers arrived, but by the time they got there, everything had already happened. They had already looted the store.
Fuck.
At 4:58 p.m., the Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley had a news conference to discuss the verdicts. And he said, quote, "The verdict will not blind us to what we saw on the video. The men who beat Rodney King do not deserve to wear the uniform of the LAPD."
Oh. Wow. Okay.
That speech later became hella controversial because a lot of the LAPD officers said that they thought that the mayor saying this invited the riot.
I don't know about that because it's sort of like an "I hear you," which is like the most basic thing that you could have offered. I think if anything, to turn a blind eye to what the officers did could have made it worse.
Yeah, for sure. Around this time, a suspect threw an object on the car of 2 police officers, and 16-year-old by the name of Seandle Daniels was arrested after those officers got backup from 2 other officers. So we got 4 officers now. Mm-hmm. A crowd formed, and the police's rough handling of the 16-year-old agitated the crowd, who began taunting police. The police tried to form a perimeter around the arresting 2 officers as the crowd started to grow more and more hostile, leading to further altercations and arrests. One member of the crowd stole a flashlight of the LAPD officer, but the other officers were like, let's just fucking get the fuck out of here, because the crowd was getting crazy. So the police ended up just jumping in their car and bouncing because they knew that they weren't going to be able to take care of it.
Yeah. It was how many against? Like 2 against how many?
Completely outnumbered. Yeah. This crowd then moved 1 block south to the intersection of Florence and Normandy. Shout out to Florence and Normandy.
Yeah.
And a group of young men broke the padlock on Tom's Liquor, which is like, if you've ever driven by there, you know Tom's Liquor.
Yeah.
After which 100 people entered, raided, and looted the shit out of it. The rioters in the street then began attacking anyone who was of non-black appearance, smashing rocks at people's cars, pulling people from their cars when they were at stoplights or stop signs, smashing window shops, and just like assaulting people on the sidewalk, cussing at them, like pushing them. Like it just got very violent.
Oh, this is horrible.
By now, the news stations are filming from helicopters, and even a few journalists had jumped in to join. Not to join, but to film and photograph what was going on. And in that documentary, like some of the photographers are interviewed and stuff because some of these pictures became super famous. Mm-hmm. And they're like fucking scared. And they start getting like attention on them and they fucking bounce out of there quick.
Because these are your local news people. These aren't people who are in Kuwait in a war zone who signed up for that, you know?
Right, yeah.
These are like the people that are doing stories about like the cat that's in the tree.
Yeah, for sure. Not so shockingly, for whatever reason, police officers were not deployed to Florence and Normandy to restore order or rescue anybody in that area.
They're so eager to use their fucking force, but not to protect those people.
Exactly. Later, the police said, at that point, they were still, quote, assessing the situation. But there's fucking helicopters filming this shit going down. At 6:45 p.m., a white truck driver was pulled from his truck by a group of black men while at a light on Florence in Normandy. He was kicked, beat, and struck unconscious with a fire extinguisher.
This is all on video.
All of these are on video that I talk about. He lay unconscious for over 5 minutes as his truck was looted before he finally regained consciousness and drove his truck out of the way.
Wow.
As he drove off, another truck driver entered the same intersection. Reginald Denny, a white truck driver, was dragged from his semi-trailer and severely beaten by a mob of local residents. The news helicopters broadcast live footage of his attack, and his is like the main one that you see played. Like on everything, basically, when they talk about the riots. Reginald was struck in the skull by a brick. They beat the shit out of him with pipes. They kicked him. They punched him. He was on the ground at this point, and they're just like basically beating the shit out of him.
What is this?
I don't know.
It's like a mass hysteria.
Yeah, like mob mentality. I don't know. All in all, Reginald suffered 91 fractures.
Oh, fuck.
Reginald was rescued by a local black resident, Bobby Green, and 3 other residents.
Heroes.
Bobby was a truck driver who was watching the broadcast live from his home. When he saw what was happening, he ran out to help.
Wow.
Reginald at that point had climbed into the cab of his truck and was trying to turn his truck on and drive off, but he was drifting in and out of consciousness because he had been beaten in the head. Bobby jumped in, moved him out of the driver's seat, took a hold of the wheel, and drove the truck to Daniel Freeman Hospital in Inglewood, and Reginald went into a seizure upon arrival.
Wow.
The footage of Reginald being beat to shit by the mob, you might as well put it side by side with the footage of Rodney being beat to shit by the cops.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
No,
but
you're
only
right.
one group of these men are going to be considered criminals.
Mm-hmm.
An hour after Denny was rescued, helicopters filmed a beating of a construction worker and Guatemalan immigrant Fidel Lopez.
Oh.
Fidel was pulled from his GMC pickup and robbed of $2,000 cash. Rioters smashed his forehead open with a car stereo, and someone tried to slice his ear off.
What the fuck?
After Fidel lost consciousness, the crowd spray painted his chest, torso, and genitals black. He was rescued by a local Reverend Benny Newton, who told the rioters, "If you kill him, you have to kill me too."
Hey.
Fidel survived the attack, but it took him years to recover and reestablish his construction business.
I bet.
Reverend Benny Newton and Fidel became very close friends following the incident. Meanwhile, there's ongoing looting at basically all stores in the area, including gun stores, electronic stores, liquor stores, furniture stores, everything. A bunch of cars are getting into accidents on the street, trying to avoid people and to avoid the commotion. And finally, people start setting shit on fire.
Because, I mean, fuck it.
Why not? At 7:36 p.m., the sun set. At 7:45 p.m., the first call came in reporting a fire. Police decided to show up to Florence and Normandy at 8:30 p.m. That's the first time police showed up.
Jesus Christ.
By which time the area was in complete ruins and basically everybody had already moved on.
Yeah.
So let's back up a second, because this was this mob over here on Florence and Normandy. But after the verdicts, a crowd had grown around the LAPD headquarters at Parker Center in downtown LA. Shout out to downtown LA. The crowd grew and became violent while police tried to form a very weak line to protect the LAPD headquarters.
Yeah.
At around 9 p.m., the Parker Center crowd began full-blown rioting. They walked through Civic Center, attacking law enforcement, overturning police cars, setting shit on fire, and blocking traffic on the 101 freeway through downtown LA.
If you're, I mean, obviously all of this fucking sucks, but like, that's who you attack, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it makes me sad. The truck driver, the Guatemalan man, like that makes me really sad, because it's just us doing damage to us.
Yes, exactly.
You know, like that, like why? I mean, and I think those black residents were fucking pissed, and with reason.
Mm-hmm.
And
it hurts. It's painful. You know, and it's like you need to let this pain out somehow. But
but this is not productive. I'll tell you that much.
Right, exactly.
Nearby firefighters were shot at while trying to put out fires set by looters.
And that's another thing. Firefighters are heroes.
Firefighters are heroes, and
they have no business
being attacked.
Yeah.
No. LA mayor requested that the governor send over a National Guard to assist, but they didn't get there until nighttime. They were deployed to the police command center and started handing out bulletproof vests to all the firefighters. At 9:15 p.m., rioters gathered at the site where Rodney had been beaten. They marched towards LAPD Foothill headquarters while throwing rocks, shooting guns into the air, and setting things on fire.
Jesus.
What had started as a protest about police injustice had completely transformed into anarchy and group rioting.
My man George Holiday, though, he still lived right there, right?
I don't know. I mean, this is probably like a year later.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I hope he's okay.
Me too. In that documentary I watched, so many people who were present, not participating actively, but trying to save themselves and other victims, said that what you saw was just like people ramping each other up and just fucking losing themselves in this greater like mass hysteria, like you said.
Yeah.
They said that they like saw their own neighbors who never participated in any violence or crimes, just cause like everybody else is doing, so they just fucking jumped in.
Like, that's what I keep thinking about. What does it take for everybody? If I understand like a one or two people, you know, bad apples or whatever, going nuts, but it was everybody. There has to be something psychologically that explains this. And I mean, what's to say that wouldn't have been you or me?
Right, for sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So now we wake up to day 2 of the riots. April 30th, 1992. There was a riot in the street. Tell me where were you? That's some California shit right there. The mayor placed a curfew for the core area affected. By the morning, rioting, looting, and arson was widespread around all of LA County. The rioting had moved north of South Central through Central LA and reaching Hollywood. Hollywood Boulevard was in flames.
Yeah.
And rioting spread through Long Beach and Inglewood.
You know, this is literally my first memory of being in the United States, which is really shitty.
I try to ask my mom about this shit, and she's like, oh, yeah, it was crazy. We just stayed inside.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you got to say? Okay. On this day, rioters targeted stores owned by Koreans and other Asians, which reflected this ongoing tension between them and the African American communities. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
In 1991, 1 year prior to the Rodney King acquittals, there was an incident involving a black 9th grader named Latasha Harlins and a Korean storekeeper named Soon Ja-do. Soon grabbed Latasha's sweater and backpack. So Latasha was buying orange juice from Empire Liquor, which is Soon's family's store in Compton. Latasha was at the register and Soon grabbed her sweater and backpack because she suspected that Latasha was trying to steal the orange juice. And Latasha fucking hit Soon in the face, knocked her down, and Soon is like, you're trying to steal. And Latasha's like, no, I'm trying to pay.
Why would you go up to the counter?
Yeah.
If you're trying to steal something. But
so she knocks Soon down and then she turns to walk away. And Soon gets up and shoots her in the back of the head, killing her.
Jesus. R.I.P.
R.I.P. The security camera tape showed that when Latasha was found on the ground, she was clutching cash in her hands.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to pay when she was killed. Soon testified on her own behalf in trial and said that she had acted in self-defense and believed that her life was in danger. She was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, forced to pay a fine of $500, and was not sentenced to any prison time.
That's how much the life of a child is worth, $500. A black child, a black girl.
Yeah. 1 week before the riots, the appellate court had upheld the decision taken by the lower courts. So we're coming off of this appellate court decision right when the Rodney King verdict came in. So this caused the relationship between the African American community and the Korean American communities to just significantly worsen.
Oh, a legal question.
Okay.
Who appealed it?
Probably the prosecution.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can appeal.
You can appeal? Okay. Because I thought that's like double jeopardy. Like you can't. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, then the appellate system just wouldn't exist. I mean, you appeal saying that something went wrong, right?
I thought you can only appeal if you were the defendant.
No, everybody can appeal.
Okay.
Yeah. So another thing is that a lot of the African American community, they were angry towards a growing Korean immigrant community in South Central because they kind of saw them as, quote, like earning a living in their communities.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some cultural differences, language barriers, and honestly, ignorance, and you just have a recipe for fucking disaster.
Yeah.
During the second day of the LA riots, the LAPD completely abandoned Koreatown and cut off streets which led inside to Koreatown, which meant that a lot of the Korean residents were fucking trapped without help.
Horrible.
P.S. The roads that they blocked off were the roads that led to wealthy, predominantly white cities of Beverly Hills and WeHo.
Yeah.
A lot of Korean residents said that their calls to the police were just completely ignored.
Yeah. And that's when you see like Korean residents on the rooftops, because what fucking choice do they have at that point with like guns?
Right.
Is that what they wanted? Is that what the cops wanted? They wanted just to like have
cops don't care about Koreans. They don't care about the Latinx. They don't care about the black people. They just want us to all kill each other.
Yeah.
The lack of aid forced Koreatown citizens to organize their own armed securities teams, which is what May's talking about, which was basically composed of store owners and their children to just defend their family businesses from the rioting. A lot of the men that owned the stores in Koreatown had military experience because a lot of them had served in the Republic of Korea Armed Forces before immigrating to the U.S. And a lot of Asian Americans got their citizenship by joining the U.S. Army or U.S. military, not just Army, obviously. The news broadcast live open gun battles between Korean shopkeepers and groups of looters. So this is the film footage that May's talking about, where you see these Korean shopkeepers literally on the roofs of their businesses with fucking guns drawn.
Because what choice do they have at that point?
Right. 18-year-old Edward Lee was accidentally shot to death by other Korean shopkeepers while trying to protect his family's pizza shop with 3 of his friends. And there's a very famous photo of his body lying on the street.
Yeah.
Out of the $50 million in damage done to LA, and there's actually a lot of different figures in terms of how much damage exactly this caused. Yeah, so that's just a number I'm throwing in here. Half of it was on Korean-owned businesses.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Many Korean Americans who survived the riots have argued that this showed that people of minority races and ethnicities must group together for protection from a system that doesn't protect non-whites with the commitment or vigor given to white America. And that's fucking true.
Yeah, it's true.
The effects of the LA riots displaced many Korean Americans and destroyed their sources of income. And a lot of this economic hardship lingers today. Soon Ja-doo's store was completely looted and burned down during the riots by rioters.
Yeah.
Her family never reopened the store.
It's shitty because, like, what do you say to someone who still has lingering resentment towards a particular community, let's say the black community, if they're Korean or something? Like,
right.
They lived through this.
Right. It's hard.
Yeah.
And this just benefits white America.
Yeah.
That's exactly right what the Korean community is saying. Like, we need to all come together.
Because they weren't in danger. They were looking down at us like, ha, ha, ha.
They were watching from their fucking couch.
Yeah.
The riots peaked in intensity over the next 2 days, resulting in deployment of federal troops and federal law enforcement to control the situation. I think all in all, it was like 10,000 troops that they said were sent to Los Angeles. President Bush had a news conference where he said anarchy would not be tolerated, mobs would not be tolerated, and he would use whatever force is necessary to calm these motherfuckers down.
And we're at war, right? The Gulf War at the same time.
Yeah, 91. Yeah. The U.S. Justice Department The U.S. Justice Department announced that it was resuming its investigation of the Rodney King beating as a violation of federal civil rights law. And President Bush said that justice would prevail, and he wanted the U.S. Justice Department to do a most thorough investigation. So they were also trying to calm people down.
Yeah.
On day 3, Rodney King famously filmed a news conference in front of his lawyer's office, tearfully saying, "People, please, can we all just get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids? We'll get our justice. Let's try to work it out. Let's try to work it out." I know it's like made fun of a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true. Can we all
really
just get along?
Can we all just get along? And it's really sad if you see Rodney give this talk, because he's just talking from the heart, and he's clearly like he's about to cry.
Yeah, it's true.
And he said some corny shit. My dude did say some corny shit, but he meant it.
You know, it's weird because I'm thinking about, there's kind of like a parallel to what's going on right now. It's like,
well, this is why I first started this. Yeah, I mean, because I started this a long ass time ago because I thought it was going to be a twofer way back when. But I kind of was scared at that time when the coronavirus thing is so like, we don't know what's going to happen, right? Like it's so uncertain, and the uncertainty is really scary for me. And I was somebody who like really hated seeing like the footage. You saw like gun shops get very busy.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of really scared about that. And I started thinking about the LA riots, and that's why I chose this topic. Thankfully, we haven't seen anything like that pop off.
But like maybe this is something, you know, that like brings us together, yes, but also lets off steam in a certain way.
The writing?
No, not the writing. But yes, the writing, but I'm talking about what's going on right now.
Right.
You know, it allows us to kind of look at each other and think, okay, maybe we are as a community not being taken care of, so maybe we need to take care of each other, sort of thing.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of odd camaraderie. Right? Like you don't want to call it that, obviously. Yeah. But it is like kind of taking a stand for everyone.
Right.
You know, like maybe you're not the one affected as an individual, but like it affects all of us. So try to come together in that way. I see it. Rodney King was on the cover of Time magazine with those words, "Please, please, can we all just get along?
Can we all just get along? God damn it."
Yeah. Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids? That was really cute.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's true.
And it is really sad. Like if you see like the first mob on Florence and Normandy, it's really scary. Like literally like this older Latina woman and her husband were interviewed in that documentary I watched. And she's like, I was just walking home from work and I just got hit in the head and dragged and they don't even know what's going on. And they're just like, what the fuck? And they're like so scared. And like they're all going to the hospital at this time. And it's just fucking scary.
Did you see some fucking idiots jump this elotera in South LA last week? I think it was.
No.
They stole all her fucking money. They grabbed her by the neck. They choked her out, stole her money, and like put it all on Instagram Live like some fucking idiots. Anyway, people found those motherfuckers.
Good.
Yeah, and beat the shit out of them as needed, honestly. Anyway, but people from around the neighborhood and stuff raised a whole shit ton of money for the elotera, but gave her like 20 grand or some shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But that's scary. I mean, she'll never want to do that shit again.
That's what she was saying.
Yeah,
she was
like it's like you don't just hit someone like that and like that's it. You know, like those scars last forever.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Fucking idiots. By this time, several entertainment and sports events were canceled and postponed, including the LA Lakers playoff game against the Portland Trail Blazers, LA Clippers and the Utah's Jazz. Dodgers postponed 3 games. Van Halen and Metallica, which were a thing at this time, postponed and moved all their concerts. Michael Bolton canceled his corny ass performance that was set to take place at the Hollywood Bowl. By day 4, most of the rioting had been contained, and 30,000 people attended a peace rally in Koreatown to support the local merchants and start racial healing.
Okay.
By the end of the riots, 63 people had died, including 9 shot by law enforcement personnel and 1 National Guardsman. 1/3 of the people killed were Latinx, even though we made up about less than half of the riot arrests. 2,400 people were injured in total. Rioters began about 3,600 fires and had destroyed 1,100 buildings.
Wow.
Firefighters said at peak they were receiving fire calls once every minute.
These are our own communities.
Exactly. Like, we're just fucking ourselves up. It's like hitting yourself in the face.
Yeah. For generations at this point, people had built up their fucking little businesses or whatever for us to just burn it to the ground.
Yeah. The material losses varied. So, see, this one I found said 800 million to 1 billion, which sounds more accurate.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mayor Bradley finally lifted the curfew, signaling the end of the riots on Sunday, May 3rd. Federal guards and troops did not stand down until May 9th, and half remained all the way through May 27th. The aftermath and effects of the riots was felt within the entire LA community, except for mostly white people.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a more united front with the Latinx and Black community, and this later was said to have helped when there was an influx of Latinos to the area without much turmoil. Like, when the Latinx community became huge in South Central, you didn't see the type of tension as they had seen with the Korean community.
Yeah.
And like I said, economically, it hit the Korean community the hardest, and they were also, a lot of them, deeply affected with PTSD.
Yeah.
LAPD Chief of Police Daryl Gates was forced to resign on June 28th, 1992.
Bye.
Fuck that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. He started the DARE program.
Oh, yeah.
He also came up with the SWAT.
So they can have their little toys to play with? That's what that shit is for.
Yeah. There were even temporary truces at this point between rival gangs, the Crips and the Bloods, following the riots.
That's right.
Remember those, like, barbecues?
Yeah, they would have barbecues in the parks and shit.
Yeah.
And they would play the bomb music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know they had the bomb food.
Oh, you know.
So let's transition back to Rodney King. In the aftermath of the riots, public pressure mounted for a retrial of the officers. The Department of Justice sought indictment of the officers for violation of his civil rights. The jury indicted 3 officers for willfully and intentionally using unreasonable force, and against Sergeant Kuhn for willfully permitting and failing to take action to stop the unlawful assault on King. Officer Lawrence Powell and Stacy Kuhn were sentenced to 30 months in prison, and the other 2 officers were acquitted. During the 3-hour sentencing, the judge did criticize Rodney, who he said had provoked the officers' initial actions. The judge lowered the sentence because he said the officers had undergone, quote, suffering via publicity of the case, had high legal bills, impending loss of their careers, and a higher risk of abuse while in prison.
All right.
That's what they deserve.
Yeah.
At the very fucking least.
Yeah.
Usually, sentencing guidelines would have called for between 70 to 87 months.
So even the 30-month sentence...
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Rodney's team appealed, and the appellate court rejected the judge's reasoning and extended the terms. However, both officers ended up only serving 30 months and were released for good behavior. But I will say that if they would have just got the 30 months, they probably would have served like 10.
Yeah. Okay.
So at least with the longer ones, they did serve a full 30 months.
Right.
Not that that's good enough.
Yeah.
Rodney later filed a negligence claim against the city and alleged that he had suffered 11 skull fractures, permanent brain damage, broken bones and teeth, kidney failure, and emotional and physical trauma. Mm-hmm. LA Mayor Tom Bradley publicly offered him $200,000 and a free 4-year college education funded by the city. Rodney was like, nah, I'm all right. And he ended up getting awarded $3.8 million, as well as $1.7 million in attorney's fees by a jury for the suit. The city did not pursue any charges against Rodney for the DUI or for evading arrest.
My man's Rodney.
District Attorney Ira Reiner said, first of all, at this point, there's insufficient evidence. And honestly, by the time we were going to be able to get around to it, who fucking cares?
Yeah,
it didn't even matter anymore.
Right.
Brian Allen, the other passenger in Rodney's car, received $35,000, and the estate of Freddie Helms, the third passenger, settled for $20,000. Freddie had actually passed away in a car accident shortly after the incident with Rodney, so he didn't even make it. He didn't even see the Rodney's trial or anything.
Is Freddie baseball cap, or that's the other one?
He's baseball cap.
Okay.
R.I.P.
Ooh.
Rodney invested his money in starting a record label called Straight Alta Paz Records, and that went out of business.
You know who he should have hooked up with?
Suge Knight?
No, because that would have been a bad idea. What's her name from Hugh Grant?
Oh,
Divine Brown.
Divine, yeah.
She knew how to use her fucking money.
Fuck yeah, she did. Rodney then wrote a memoir, and that was made into a movie about his life. Later, Rodney struggled with alcohol and drug addiction and continued to be the subject of further arrests and convictions. He crashed his car into a block wall in downtown LA on August 21st, 1993. In 1995, he was arrested in Alhambra, shout out to Alhambra, when he knocked his wife down with his car.
Oh.
On August 27th, 2003, he was arrested for speeding and running a red light while under the influence. He failed to yield to officers and slammed his car into a house. In 2007, while riding home on a bike, because now he can't drive, he was shot in the face, arms, and back with pellets from a shotgun. And he reported to police that the attackers were a man and woman trying to steal his bike.
Damn, what kind of bike was it?
I don't know. Probably a nice one. He's hopefully he still has some money, right?
Yeah.
In 2008, Rodney appeared on season 2 of Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, which seems to happen to a lot of people that I do episodes on. He also appeared on Sober House, also with Dr. Drew, and tried to work through his addictions and what he said was lingering trauma from the incident back in 1991. He was arrested in 2012 for reckless driving. And finally, on Father's Day, June 17th, 2012, Rodney's wife, Cynthia Kelly, found him lying underwater at the bottom of their swimming pool. Police in Rialto received a 911 call and attempted to revive him. He was transferred to Arrowhead Regional Medical Center and pronounced dead on arrival. He died 28 years to the day after his father had been found dead in their pool in 1984.
What?
After an investigation, the police did not find any foul play, and his autopsy revealed that the cause of death was accidental drowning, and there was a combination of alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, and PCP in his system.
Oh, God. They did this, making a murderer. They did this to him.
Reverend Al Sharpton delivered the eulogy at Rodney's funeral. His death brought up a lot of conversations again about how he had become this accidental civil rights figure. Mm-hmm. And Rodney was a really complicated man, but his story is a very important symbol of the gruesome reality of life for Black men in America. And that's the story of Rodney King.
Oh, good one, Steph. Ugh.
That shit's crazy, right?
Yeah, I hate that happened. I hate it. Too. I hate it.
It's so sad. Like, it's so sad to see just these people and our people just reach this level, like be pushed to this level too. Yeah. It's not from nowhere and it's not for nothing, but I mean, was it the right reaction? Obviously not.
Right.
And, you know,
but are we in a better place because it happened, which I feel like is a shitty thought to have?
I don't know. Like, I mean, so that's the thing. Like the thing is that nothing fucking changed. Like, the police are still doing this actively.
True.
Like, while we're sitting here fucking talking, you know?
And we're still getting even HD video.
Right now, you know, at least there's like some sort of more, it's more transparency, I guess.
Yeah.
About like this kind of thing. But, so has nothing like that changed? Like, the police didn't fucking change. And there was like that fucking LAPD officer after the fact, like, there was some corny shit he tried to say, like he the deputy, he was like, oh, he tried to like, you know, solve like this tension within the communities and the police officers. He tried to hire more police officers of color, which is like, it's just the front. Like, that doesn't solve the fucking problem.
Right.
So in that sense, no, nothing's fucking changed. But like us as a community, like people of color, I hope that like we would never let this happen again. Because obviously it was awful.
Yeah, we paid for it.
You know, like we just hurt ourselves, you know?
Not only were we the ones that were hurt by the man, but then we had to go around and fuck around and hurt each other and ourselves.
Yeah. What the fuck was that about? So hopefully that would never happen again.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that, like, institutionally, like you said, I'm more than likely in the same place, but as a community, in the shadow of that, I think that's probably the only good that came of it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it did like bring this bit, like it was literally like in the face of the people of America, and they couldn't not see what was happening for the first time, and that was really important.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we got the longest way to go.
Ugh. Now, all right, now we got to do OJ, because that's like also
that's a crazy one.
Yeah. Fuck. All right, guys.
Well, that was week's. I can't even talk anymore. I've been talking nonstop for an hour. That was this week's episode. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Drama Club Pod, on the website dramaclubpod.com.
On the hotline 505-539-0556, at our P.O. Box number 27433 LACA 90027. And we'll talk to you on Thursday with our brand new Afternoon Delight episode.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your helmet.